Evening all, welcome back to Dust, and today we're going to do a little bit of a conversation about what certainly seems to be going on with the game at the moment. And this is going to be kind of, including some rather amusing footage of remote explosives, which are just hella funny at the moment. Slightly older footage, I think this was maybe a couple of weeks ago. Not been playing a huge amount, but I must admit I'm back, certainly back now. And we'll talk about that as well. So there we go, topics of the day. I think the first one to really kind of kick off with is we've been playing Destiny and been quite enjoying it. In fact, Destiny is a very good game, very enjoyable. But I think the reality is, and this is just a wide sweeping statement to begin with. Destiny is a bit boring. I know a lot of people are going to rage at me for saying that, but let me just give you my personal experience. We played Destiny for about 3 days, and we completed it. The story was done by about day 4, and that probably represented about 20 hours of gameplay, which is quite a bit when you think about it. And we were just of the opinion that now begins the raid system, and probably another week later after the raiding stuff. I think the reality was it was a bit boring. We were a bit kind of like bored of that. And it's weird because I think it took maybe another week before we just realised, this was Trub and I, we just realised we're just doing the same thing over and over. Now, there's an irony in that because we do the same thing over and over in this as well, but I think the difference between this and Destiny is this felt like Counter-Strike. You're just playing a round-based game. That's what you're playing it for, is that you can quickly get in, shoot some stuff, it ends, you're done. And I think the thing with Destiny was it just felt like we were constantly doing the same missions against the same NPCs, against the same things, just with different difficulty modifiers changed here and there. It almost felt like you had a control panel and you were just moving the sliders left and right. A little bit harder, not able to respawn, able to do this, solar burn, blah, blah. And yeah, it's a nice feature, but it's not enough to keep me playing it continually. I got to admit, we got bored of it very soon. The only real thing that became fun was the quest for loot. So it's like playing Dust 514 for the desire to get an officer drop. But to be honest, in this game, officer weapons don't mean nothing really. They're just things. So anyway, that's kind of the I guess the realization we had is that it's a great game, fantastic game, very enjoyable. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. But the story runs out pretty quick and it gets a bit boring and grindy and samey after that. And yeah, you could do raids, yeah, you can do all that. But to be honest, I'm just very aware that I'm playing World of Warcraft with guns. And I don't like that. I think, MMOs and me have a bad history. We have history between us, and my time playing Eve and such was not a good time. I got fat, I got ill, I got basically way too much into it, and I think, I don't think I'm ADD or what is it, or obsessive OCD. I don't think I am, but I must be to a degree because I do a lot of videos on games. But I think to me that's a hobby. I don't know, maybe I am, but either way. I didn't like that Destiny was sucking me in. You could feel it. It was like, oh my god, I've got to do another mission, got to get a legendary thing, got to get an exotic. And after a while, I think I just became very aware that the game, it's almost like the game was kind of opening my front door and dangling a sausage sandwich at me saying, woo, come and get me, woo. And after a while I realised, you know what, I'm being manipulated, and I really didn't like it. And if I try and quantify this, I mean, Dust is different to me because I know I'm just playing a game that's a round-based game in this. There's no, I don't know, it felt different. It felt totally kind of light. There's no sort of like grinding going on here, because all you're doing is you're just fighting people to shoot people in instant gratification. It's not like I'm having to play Dust continually to unlock a gun that I can then use, which is weird because you kind of do. It makes no sense, but post in the comments, tell me if that makes any sense at all. To me, I just respected that Dust was a game you could pick up and then put down again and not be kind of adversely affected by that. Whereas I think Destiny was pretty much doing everything it could to keep you there, keep you online. Oh look, there's Queen missions now, and you're like, okay, the Queen's come. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, what missions are we doing? Are we doing them on the asteroid belt? No, we're doing the same missions over and over against the same people over and over the same 4 big maps. Doing the same thing, same, grindy grind, same, cough, sploke, bludder, boredom, eye strain. And that's pretty much what the whole game turned into, sadly. But So there we go. So we're back into... that was a very long way to say why we're here, but we're back in Dust, and I think already I'm remembering what a fun, slightly kind of fucked up sheepdog laying on my couch with fleas this game is. I think it's still got loads of problems. Still got loads of issues with its kind of core game mechanic. It's still pretty terrible when it comes to the community. Some of the community are just manipulating this game to shit. And to give you an example, on the high maps like Ashlands, and certainly maps like that weird one with the pipes that go either side of the big tower, people just glitch spawn pads up there now, so they're actually impossible to get, and they sit up there with swarms and snipers, and the game has become phenomenally formulaic because CCP obviously don't play their game and don't understand what people are doing. And what people are doing is they figured out a major win every time situation, such as what I just said there, and they're just then making sure that dropships get nerfed, etc. So it's kind of sneaky in a way, but do I really give a shit? Not really. To be honest, if that's what they want to do, fair enough. The beauty of this game is that you could just leave battle, and that whole thing of people wanting to do that kind of exploitative kind of gameplay just shows they're not very good. It does happen a little bit too often now. I think people have got very aware of where to glitch spawn pads. That's just cheating, quite frankly. And it kind of leads on to an interesting kind of scenario where I think, frankly, look at that triple kill, nice. It leads on to a kind of situation where I think reality of this game is that it's become too comfortable. It's a comfortable pair of shoes for everybody who plays it continually. And the reality is that these people just know what to do continually, and it kind of makes me sad a bit because there's not much anybody can sort of do about that. I mean, an idea would be to remove dropships entirely so you can never get up on high on these high points. That's not a bad idea when you think about how much it's being abused. But the reality is that if you have those games where you just get a bunch of people who just constantly exploit the game, just leave, just join another map, and you'll probably have a lot more fun if you do that. So there we go. So I think the severity of the game has reduced significantly. It's like I played a few games yesterday, and to be honest, there were some real power players, quote, exploiting the hell out of every single map. So that they'd see the map, the first thing they'd do, they'd rush to the high point of Ashlands, drop hundreds of spawn pads, and all get in forge guns to stop the enemy coming up with their dropships. And when you realise the game is just a massive kind of objective point grab to begin with, you realise what a waste of time it all is. So to be honest, I've got to admit, playing with a much kind of more casual mindset has served me quite well. But there we go. We'll talk more. I think, to be honest, this game is still very fun. You have to be very selective with the matches you play and the levels you play. So, for example, this level here is a pretty good map. I like this one because you'll get a good fight out of it. And, it's very difficult to kind of dominate with one tactic or another. As you saw, they brought in, super heavy tanked heavy suits, and we could just basically kill them with remote explosives. So, I think generally there is always a counter to everything, except now this high point dropship conundrum. I think everything still has a counter, and it's still quite fun to play. So, definitely recommend it. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.